All right, boom. All right, so I'm gonna start straight from here, right? So everybody talk about gatekeepers outside of this dimension. Even when you get into the Emerald Tablets, Tahuti talk about the dweller, the lords of life and death, this, that, and the other, right? You talking about beings who in the fifth dimension and higher have to oversee these lower planes, the fourth and third dimension. The fourth dimension is the mental plane, right? So the fifth dimension creates the fourth dimension within itself, and the fourth dimension creates the third dimension within itself. So the fourth dimension is mental. The fifth dimension would be like pure conscious energy, pure conscious awareness, pure knowingness, just whatever, however you want to see it, right? So you would call that divine because it manifests in the fourth dimension as a light shining. This way you get stars, right? Then you get star systems or star groups. This way you get your family lines, your bloodlines, your tribes, your nations, stuff like that, right? Then you gotta, from that, you through the process of the life of the star, you end up developing planets, moons, and whatever, the little planetoids, right? And then from that, you have species developing on those planets, around those planets, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So that's fractalizing from the fifth dimension down to the third dimension in different forms. Now, each time you come down, and mind you, dimensions is not, it's like, all right, you say fifth, you say fourth, you say third, but you got levels and dimensions within each one of those, right? So, because we talking frequencies, right? We talking wavelengths. So, think of ice at the bottom, and the further you go, the colder and harder it gets. Then as you go up, the ice starts getting softer, starts turning into little frost. Then it starts turning into water. Now it's cold water. Then it goes higher up. Now it's warm water. It's moving a little bit more because, as we know, heat makes water boil. It causes friction. It causes movement and motion, vibration, right? Whereas cooling is the lowering of the vibration, right? Slowing the vibration down till it looks like it's no motion, till the water physically can't move because it's crystallized completely, right? Once it gets to a point of boiling to a certain point, then you get steam. And then from the steam will dissipate further into ether, right? All right, so those are your different levels. It's all water, but based on the frequency, the state of existence of that water is going to change. All right, so that applies to everything else as it comes down in dimensions, right? So you got the third dimension, but you got third dimension 0.0 all the way to third dimension 0.999 till you hit 99999 infinite till you hit the fourth dimension, right? Now, the higher you go, right, from the lowest point of the third, the more you go up, the less dense everything gets naturally, right? So the simplest way for me to explain that is to think like everything. Okay, you say that creation is made of atoms. You would say atoms, you would say prana, you would say chi, you would say energy, right? So we look at these atoms, these molecules, those are the building blocks of creation, right? The further down you go in dimensions, the smaller those building blocks get in order to create more complex forms of creation. But the side effect of that is that these more complex forms of creation require, how do I say, they're denser by nature, right? The density comes from partially of the organism we're talking about, right? From these, like, look at all of this life around me, right? This is all life, myself included, right? But there's a distinction in myself as life, and there's a distinction in these plants as life, right? We all alive though. These trees are alive. Everything over here is living, right? And we all made out of the same motherfucking shit called atoms, molecules and shit, protons, electrons and neutrons and shit, right? Carbon and oxygen and helium and hydrogen and shit, right? We all made out of the same stuff. But based on in the fourth dimension, how you put these Lego pieces called atoms together, you get a different charge, a different rotation, a different vibration, right? And then you take the smaller pieces and you make these bigger pieces called molecules, right? And then you take those small pieces and you make bigger pieces called cells. And then you take those pieces, you make a bigger piece called a body, or a living, the structure of a living being, right? So it's all the same thing. As you build it outward, it gets more and more complex. But once you go inward, because remember, outward, if I say outward, it's the same thing as saying downward. And if I say inward, it's the same thing as saying upward. Because as above, so below, as within, so without. So, but remember, everything is made of the same thing. It's just put together. You took them Lego pieces. We got the same Legos, right? I could use mine to make a car. You can use yours to make a house. They can use theirs to make a bear, right? He can use his to make a star, right? But now once you go higher in dimensions to things like stars and stuff, they're more simple in their nature. Like, what is the sun made out of? It's mostly hydrogen, right? Look at the element of water. It's just H2O, hydrogen, 2 oxygen. There's 1 hydrogen Lego piece, 2 oxygen Lego pieces. Sometimes you can add 3 oxygen Lego pieces, you change it, right? But now if you put a 4th oxygen, that ain't water no more. Now it's something else. If you add nitrogen to it, that ain't water no more. Now it's something else. You get what I'm saying? This is how the shit work. So if you understand mentally how the shit work, you understand the periodic table elements, you understand how the elements is put together to create different effects, you can start playing with these Legos in the 4th dimension, not necessarily in the 3rd dimension. So you got to know how to change your mind state, your frequency, right, in order to access your state of consciousness on the mental plane, not on the physical plane, right? For whatever reason, I'm set up to where my shit function on both simultaneously all the time, right? 4th dimension and 3rd dimension at the same time. Sometimes forget about the 3rd dimension part because the 4th dimension part is so intricate at the moment. So, you know what I'm saying? By autopilot, because this motherfucker should be sailing by itself like it's supposed to. Once you can, this is what meditation, yoga, all these things, once you start to understand that, you can start dealing with things from the energetic level. So that's one of the biggest problems with humanity right now. Y'all try to fix all the physical problems physically, right? Well, you might as well just throw a Band-Aid on it and hope it heal, right? Because if you actually want to fix the problem, you got to go inside. You got to do it on the 4th dimensional plane or the 5th dimensional plane. You have to supersede to something that the creation is based upon in order to fix it, in order to solve the shit. Dig what I'm saying? Because we're not dealing with a hardware issue on Earth. We're dealing with a software issue. The hardware is fucking fine. Look at this shit. This the hardware. You hear that? Hear that wind blowing? You hear them birds chirping? That's the motherfucking hardware. Look at that. That shit beautiful. Ain't nothing wrong with the heart. Earth is fucking beautiful. Earth is perfect as it is. As much damage as these motherfuckers done to it. Ain't shit wrong with the motherfucking planet. It's the world, which is the fucking software, that's the issue. Motherfuckers' minds, motherfuckers' mentalities. This shit ain't real. No animals paying no motherfucking bills. And no animals getting evicted off no motherfucking lands unless by force. Because we allow it, because we the motherfucking keepers of the planet and we ain't acting like it. Sorry. Gemini mode activated. I switched. I switched like a motherfucker. Alright, cause I be getting, man, shit be pissing me off, nigga. We the keepers of the motherfucking planet. And everybody waiting for Captain Planet. We Captain Planet. What the fuck is you talking about? We Captain Planet. We allowing all this bullshit to go on. We allowing all the animals and the trees and everything to be destroyed. We allowing the ocean to be polluted. We allowing the children to be abducted. We allowing this shit because we rather motherfucking pay some bills and shit, go work for some motherfuckers who don't deserve our hard fucking energy, our pure ass intention. They don't deserve that shit. We letting the planet go to waste, and we gonna blame them motherfuckers when we ain't doing shit about it. You don't get no pass just because you don't know that you should be doing something. Because somebody told you gotta wait on somebody to come back in a couple thousand years and they gonna save everything. That shit ain't real. Just because you know you don't know you're supposed to do something on this motherfucking planet, you know. Your conscious mind, your ego don't know because motherfuckers been lying to it your whole life. Everybody know this bullshit a lie. Again, the hardware. Motherfucking COVID pandemic shut down. Humans stay in the house. Businesses stop. What the fuck the earth do? Was she suffering? Was she dying? Was animals dying from COVID? No, earth was fucking thriving. Cleansing herself because she got a fucking break. She got a fucking break. It's a software issue, not a motherfucking hardware issue. Humans are abusing the motherfucking hardware because they won't take no motherfucking control or accountability for the software. You have to understand. You don't even know how the fuck you would perceive reality had somebody not fed you what reality is your whole life up until adulthood. And why you having midlife crisis by the time you get 40 and 50 because shit not adding up. And you can't keep lying to yourself at that point. Something gotta fucking give. You have to be fucking honest. Don't nobody like living like this. This shit beautiful and peaceful. Everybody wants to come here. Everybody want to go to a motherfucking waterfall, to a motherfucking beach, to a motherfucking hiking in the mountains and the hills and the forests and in the woods and shit. Just to go back in their homes. They know they don't want to go back to them motherfucking homes. Just to wake up and go serve some motherfucker and not even be appreciated for the shit. For real, for real. You ain't even appreciated for the shit. They'll replace your ass in a minute. The fuck? Don't nobody like this shit. Y'all don't be honest about it. That's why ain't no fucking unity. Because y'all all socially, unspokenly agreed to not talk about nothing real. To not talk about none of the real problems going on. Y'all get together, talk about bullshit. Talk about shit that ain't gonna change shit. Don't make your lives no better. You just taking your mind off the shit that you don't like, that you need to be fucking thinking about. Fuck is you talking about? I'm tired of this shit, man. I ain't come back here to do this shit, and I'm not finna let my children live like this. Hell no. You got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. You gonna have to end my whole life. You think I'm finna live like this? I'm out. Not doing that shit. I would rather deceased. Fuck is you talking about? Because I ain't scared of death. Bitch, I know it's on the other side. I ain't got nothing to be worried about. I ain't got nothing to fear. I don't got nothing to fear but living the motherfucking lie in this illusion. Acting like this shit cool when nobody likes it. Everybody's fucking depressed. But it's all mental. Ain't nothing going on. In the reality of Earth, Earth is doing what she do. It's humans who fucking it up. It's humans who are not working in harmony with the Earth. Dumb as hell. And, you know, my position is like a little difficult because I don't want to, I'm torn because I know it's not humanity's fault. But at the same time, when motherfuckers come to you and bring you the truth or attempt to, you know, I know you didn't do it yourself, but, you know, it's something in you that activates, that makes you just want to fight the truth. That makes you want to fight anything that's finna break you away from that system that you call the Matrix. Now, that being said, let's get on to bigger things, right? These guardians or these beings who dwell beyond the fourth dimension have to oversee this realm. All of them not bad. You know what I'm saying? All of them not bad. It's some bad ones. Not bad, but it's some selfish ones, right? It's some selfish ones. It's some ones who truly look at this as a game because it's a simulation. It's not a real experience, but because we project our consciousness into this motherfucker, we become fully connected to it. So it's a video game, but we feel every motherfucking thing that's happening. Everything. We feel this shit for real. That's why you can't tell no difference, right? That's why you don't know that this ain't reality, right? This is real. It's a co-created reality. It's not the reality. It's not the overarching, it's not the truth of all truths. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? The truth of all truths is us, you. Oh, let me get back. Here I come. Yeah. They got to oversee this thing to make sure that the developing souls in this joint ain't running around the universe abusing their creative ability because they don't understand how things work. So you can't go through the fifth dimension causing havoc. And in the fourth dimension, you be in little pockets in your own little dimension in there, in your own little pocket, creating your own realities. You call them dreams. Those are self-created realities, right? Then you have where you're actually traveling through other realms. All of these things is created by other beings, right? Sometimes we create our own. Sometimes higher beings create them. And I don't like saying higher beings because we're not lower. The only thing that's lower is the conscious level right now. The conscious level is low. That's it. Motherfuckers just got to open their mind. Y'all got to drop the religion shit. Y'all got to drop the division shit. All that shit fucking y'all mind up. But that's it for this video, man. I got some more to say, but I can't say it right now.